God says, you will be very happy tonight because He is giving you that one thing you've been praying for, holding on for, quietly waiting for. It may not have come when you expected, and it may have looked like it was never going to come, but God never forgot your heart's silent cry. He has heard every whisper of your soul, every tear that fell in private, every moment where you kept the faith even though everything around you said to give up. Tonight, heaven leans toward you with kindness, and something sacred is being released into your life, something personal, beautiful, and deeply needed. Type Amen if you believe. This isn't just a moment of coincidence or an ordinary night. This is a moment that has been prepared for you, timed by God Himself. Every delay, every closed door, every detour that you never understood is about to make perfect sense. God was never punishing you, and He was never withholding anything out of anger. He was preparing the right moment to bless you in a way that not only answers your prayers but fills your heart with peace, healing, and clarity. What He's about to do for you will settle the restlessness inside you. It will be the thing that finally feels like home, like wholeness, like the moment you've been unknowingly walking toward for years. There are times when life teaches us patience through the quiet seasons, and during those seasons, it's easy to feel forgotten or left behind. But God is not distant, and He never takes His eyes off His children. Even in your lowest moments, He was walking beside you, waiting for you to lean a little more into His presence, to trust even when you couldn't see what He was doing. His love has never left you, and His promise has never failed. You are not too late, not too broken, not too far gone. You are still God's precious child, and He has something for you tonight that will remind you that you've never been alone. There is a quiet kind of joy that comes when God steps in and begins to shift things in your favor. It's not loud or dramatic, it's tender, it's peaceful, it's a soft glow that begins to light up places inside you that have felt dark and cold for too long. Tonight is the beginning of that glow. The thing you've been waiting for might not look exactly like you pictured, but it will be perfect for you. God is too wise to get it wrong and too loving to give you less than His best. What's arriving in your life tonight is an answer that has your name on it. It's not for anyone else, and it can't be delayed any longer. Type 1111 if you trust in God. God wants you to know that the tears you've cried were never wasted. They watered the ground for the blessing that's about to rise. The loneliness you felt was not a punishment, but a preparation, so you would know how to appreciate the presence of His comfort when it came. The pain you carried wasn't meaningless. It was creating space in you to hold something greater. Now that greater thing is being placed into your hands, and it won't slip away, it won't break your heart, and it won't disappear. It will stay, because it's from God. Sometimes God withholds certain things because He knows we are still healing. Other times He waits until our hearts are ready to receive what He's planned. But when that moment comes, it arrives with such a quiet certainty that it soothes all our past fears. Tonight is one of those moments. Whether you feel ready or not, God sees your heart and says, "It's time." You may have been tired, worn out, and even doubting lately, but God didn't change His mind about you. He still plans to give you beauty for ashes and joy for the sorrow. That one thing you need, whether it's peace, restoration, love, direction, or breakthrough, is being given tonight. So rest your heart in Him. He knows the journey you've walked, the burdens you've carried, and the strength it took to keep going. He honors that, and He is blessing it. You don't have to strive or fight anymore. Just receive what He is giving. Let His peace settle into your soul and trust that He's still the God who does the impossible, the God who moves mountains, the God who keeps every promise, even the ones you've forgotten you prayed for. You are standing at the edge of a moment that has been written into your life before you ever knew you needed it. God is not late, and what He is doing right now is carefully designed to meet your soul exactly where it hurts, exactly where it longs, and exactly where it hopes. Type 1919 to receive miracles. Tonight is not ordinary. Even if the sky looks the same, And even if the room you sit in hasn't changed, something in the spiritual realm has moved. God has whispered your name with love and has told the heavens that now is your time. You've waited, you've wept in silence, you've smiled in front of others when your heart was aching. You've walked with strength while your knees felt like giving out. And through it all, God has been keeping count not just of your steps, but of your tears, your hopes, and every small act of faith you made, even when you were tired. This isn't about a reward for being perfect. This is grace, poured out from a God who loves you not for what you do, but for who you are. You are His child, His joy, His creation. You are the one He formed with care, the one He has never stopped watching over. You may have felt invisible to the world at times, but you've always been seen by Him. And now, He is reaching into your story with His hands full of mercy, full of kindness, full of answers that will calm the storms you've been hiding from everyone else. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. This is more than a blessing. This is healing in a form your heart will understand. This is the kind of gift that will make you look back and realize that every struggle was worth it. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to chase it. God is bringing it to you like a gentle breeze that carries the scent of new beginnings, of open doors, of things finally falling into place. It may come through a moment of unexpected peace, a message that changes everything, or a feeling deep inside that lets you know something has finally shifted. God knows how hard it's been for you to keep going while carrying so much inside. He knows you've tried to be strong for everyone around you, even when you were breaking in places no one could see. But He also knows that your faith never fully gave up. Even if it was small, even if it flickered, it stayed. And tonight, He is honoring that faith. He is lifting burdens you weren't meant to carry much longer. He is sending something into your life that will remind you of how deeply you are loved, how fully you are known, and how near He has always been, even in the silence. Type 555 if you believe God is with you. You've spent nights wondering if your prayers were hitting empty air. You've questioned if God had moved on, if maybe your requests weren't important enough, or if maybe you were just asking for too much. But the truth is, God has never once ignored a single word from your lips. He doesn't work on human time, but He works in perfect time. And now, the clock of heaven has turned to your name, and the windows are opening. What's coming won't just ease your mind, it will light up your spirit. It will remind you that He was always working, even in the waiting. There is a stillness that comes when you truly believe that God is working behind the scenes. That stillness isn't the absence of emotion, it's the presence of trust. And that trust allows you to breathe again, to loosen your grip on fear, and to open your hands to receive. Tonight, open your heart gently. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to figure it all out. Just allow yourself to believe, even if just a little, that what's coming is good, and it's coming from the one who knows you better than anyone. This may be the night that peace returns to your sleep. This may be the night that an answer arrives in the form of an idea, a phone call, or a simple shift inside that changes the way you see everything. Whatever it is, it will be exactly what your soul has been waiting for. You won't have to explain it to anyone. You'll just know it was from God, and it will bring tears to your eyes, not of sadness, but of relief, of joy, of deep and healing gratitude. God's blessings are not always loud or grand, but they are always meaningful. They touch the places in us that we thought were too far gone. They mend the pieces that life tried to scatter. They restore hope in a world that often tries to dim our light. And tonight, God is restoring that light in you. You don't need to earn it. You only need to receive it. Let this be the moment where you stop running from disappointment and start leaning into divine restoration. The past may have been painful. The path may have been lonely, but the promise is still alive, and the giver of that promise has not forgotten. Tonight is not about magic or coincidence. It's about divine timing. It's about the heart of a father who delights in giving good things to his children. It's about a Savior who walks with you through every valley and still brings you to mountaintops you never thought you'd reach. This is real, and it's already on its way. The shift you've been sensing, the quiet stirring in your heart that you couldn't quite explain, has all been part of the way God speaks when He's about to move. The delay you've endured is being exchanged for divine timing, and what felt like silence was really preparation for something greater than you could have imagined. Type yes to affirm. Sometimes the most powerful moments are the ones that arrive without warning. They don't come with announcements or loud declarations, but rather with a gentle presence that wraps itself around your heart and fills you with peace. That's the kind of moment God is giving you tonight. It's the kind that doesn't just change your situation, it changes you. It reminds you that God has always been in the details. Even when you felt like nothing was working, He was aligning everything quietly and faithfully. God has never needed to rush. He doesn't operate on our schedules because He sees what we cannot. He knows the dangers hidden in haste and the beauty that unfolds in waiting. He saw every time you almost gave up, every time your faith was held together by a thread, and every time you smiled through disappointment. He knows how tired your heart is and how ready you are for something to finally make sense. And now, in His goodness, He's saying, it's time. Not because you were perfect, but because His love is. There is something deeply personal about the way God chooses to bless His children. He doesn't send us generic answers or recycled miracles. He crafts each blessing with care, wrapping it in grace, molding it to fit the deepest needs we often can't express out loud. What He's giving you tonight will not only fill the gap in your life, it will speak directly to your heart in a language only you and He understand. It may arrive through a message, a connection, or a moment of unexpected clarity, but however it comes, you will know it's from Him. Type 222 if you're ready to receive it. This 9-word phrase was once buried under government secrecy, but now it's resurfacing, sparking a global wave of prosperity stories. Experts reveal it reactivates a money magnet section of your brain most people never use. Say it once daily and watch financial blocks vanish. But this page could vanish too. Click the link in the description and comments before it's gone. The pain of waiting can sometimes feel unbearable, especially when it seems like everyone else is receiving what you're praying for. You've watched others be blessed. You've celebrated others while wondering quietly when your time would come. But you never stopped believing. You stayed the course, you stayed kind, and you never let bitterness take root. And because of that, God is now releasing something into your life that others may not understand, but your heart will recognize as the exact thing it's been longing for. This moment has been written into your life from the beginning. Before you faced the battles, before the heartbreak, before the detours and closed doors, God had already carved out this space in your story where redemption would meet you. This is not just about getting what you want, it's about receiving what you were created to carry. It's about purpose. It's about restoration. It's about God making beauty from every broken piece you thought couldn't be repaired. There is healing in this blessing. There is peace in this gift. And there is a new beginning in what God is placing before you. It might not look dramatic. It might not be loud. But it will be real, and it will last. God's blessings aren't fragile, and they're not temporary. When He gives with fullness. He gives in ways that calm storms, open doors, and rewrite the sadness you've been holding on to. What's coming will not only bless you, it will overflow into the lives of others around you. because what God does in one heart always ripples into many. So let your heart rest tonight. Let your spirit loosen its grip on worry and lean into the gentle love of God, who knows you better than anyone. Let go of the fear that it's too late or that you've missed your chance. You haven't. You're right on time for something sacred. You're standing at the edge of answered prayers, and all you need to do is keep walking with faith, not with pressure or anxiety, but with trust. God is already ahead of you, preparing the way. You may not see everything clearly yet, but the fog is lifting. The burden is lightening. The answer is approaching. And when it arrives, you'll understand why it took this long. You'll see how each delay was a setup for something better, how every closed door was a redirection, not a rejection, and how all the pain became soil for something beautiful to grow. You'll look back and say, God, you knew what I didn't, and I thank you. Let that be your peace tonight. Not that you have everything figured out, but that you're held by the one who does. He has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked your prayers, and he has not changed his mind about your promise. What's coming is for you. You don't need to compete for it. You don't need to earn it. It's being given because he delights in you, and because he's always been working things out for your good, even when you couldn't see it. You may not see it yet, but something is shifting, something is settling, and something holy is making its way into your heart. This is not just an answer, it's a sign that God has been with you all along, holding your story in his hands and carrying you closer to this moment. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. God's timing is never rushed, never mistaken, and never uncertain. He moves with intention, with precision, and always with love. The season you've been walking through, though confusing, painful, and filled with unanswered questions, has not been wasted. It has shaped you, not to break you, but to prepare you for something deeper. When you thought you were being forgotten, you were being refined. When it felt like doors were closing without explanation, it was because God was opening a better one that only he could see. Now, in his quiet and powerful way, he is placing that better door right in front of you. This is the kind of blessing that doesn't just feel like relief, it feels like restoration. It doesn't only fill an empty space, it renews what was broken and brings new life to what you thought was over. There is healing wrapped in this gift. There is peace sewn into the fabric of this miracle. There is joy that doesn't shout but sits gently in your soul, calming the parts of you that have long been waiting for rest. God is not sending you just anything. He is sending you exactly what your soul has been missing. In the moments you cried quietly, when no one noticed, God noticed. In the times you held on to hope, even when you were barely standing, God was proud. He saw the faith that trembled but never let go. He saw the way you continued to show love, even when your heart was tired. And for all those unseen efforts, for all the days you chose to believe when doubt felt louder, tonight is his response. Tonight is his way of saying, I was with you in the silence, and now I'm showing you what the silence was for. This won't be just another passing moment, it will be a turning point. A place in your journey where things begin to change, not because you forced them to, but because God decided it was time. This is what happens when you surrender, when you trust, when you hold on even without understanding. It's not about how strong you were. It's about how faithful God is. He doesn't leave stories unfinished, and he doesn't forget the ones who wait on him with open hearts and trembling prayers. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. You might feel like you don't have the strength to keep hoping, but you don't have to carry this on your own anymore. God is stepping in to lift what has been too heavy for too long. He's replacing the pressure with peace and the striving with stillness. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to rest in his love, which never runs dry, never grows weary, and never forgets a single need of your heart. Every second you wait, wealth meant for you slips into someone else's hands. A hidden brainwave once buried in CIA files has been proven to awaken unstoppable prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch inside your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. This is more than an opportunity, it is destiny knocking. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. What's coming will make sense of what didn't. It will put meaning behind the quiet seasons and purpose behind the trials. God wastes nothing. Every tear, every moment of confusion, every time you felt like giving up, He's turning it all into a testimony. Not just for others to hear, but for you to live. You will walk in the joy of what once hurt you. You will smile in the places where you used to cry. And you will carry peace into the future, not because it's always easy, but because you'll know who walks with you. God is not in a rush, and He doesn't expect you to be either. He's not asking you to be perfect or strong. He's asking you to be open. Open to His timing, open to His ways, open to the idea that what's coming might look different, but it will be everything you need. And when it arrives, you'll feel it deep in your spirit, that undeniable knowing that this was not random, this was not luck, this was not something you made happen, this was God. So breathe. Let tonight be a night of release. Let go of what's behind you. Let go of the need to understand everything. Let go of the fear that tells you you're not enough, or that good things always pass you by. Let tonight be the night you open your hands and simply say, God, I trust you. That trust is enough. It opens the way for what's already on its way. It makes room for joy to enter, for peace to return, and for God to do what only He can do. The next chapter of your life is not being written in panic or confusion. It's being written with love, with care, and with every detail placed by the one who knows you best. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. And what is being given to you tonight will prove that in a way no words ever could, not because you've earned it, but because you are loved deeply, fully, eternally loved. What you are about to receive is not a random answer, not a leftover blessing, not a second-hand promise. It is something that was crafted in the heart of God long before you knew to ask for it. It is personal, it is holy, and it is yours. Type 2323 if you agree. You may not have understood why the road was so long, why the weight was so heavy, or why the seasons seemed to pass with no sign of change. You've seen others bloom while you stayed planted in the same dry ground, wondering if maybe your prayers had been missed or misplaced. But nothing about your journey has been overlooked. Every delay was a divine redirection. Every silence was filled with God's preparation. And every time you chose to believe, even when there was nothing to see, something sacred was happening beneath the surface. God doesn't forget the hearts that stay soft in the middle of hardship. He doesn't overlook the ones who keep giving love, even when they feel empty. He notices the quiet courage it takes to keep going, the strength it takes to forgive, and the humility it takes to let go of control and trust Him instead. Tonight, He is pouring His love over every piece of you that stayed faithful in the shadows. He's answering the parts of you that even you didn't know were praying. This moment is not just about what you're getting, it's about what you've become. The waiting has changed you in ways that will stay with you forever. It's given you depth, empathy, endurance, and an unshakable understanding of grace. You are not who you were when this all began, and that's a gift. You've grown into someone who knows how to stand still in storms, how to listen in silence, and how to believe without seeing. And now God is trusting you with more, because you've shown Him you can carry it with a heart that's humble, grateful, and open. Type 2020 to claim miracles. Tonight's blessing may not come in a grand display. It may arrive quietly, in a moment so gentle you almost miss it. It could be a shift in your spirit, a peace that suddenly settles over your heart, or a sense of hope that rises up again for the first time in a long while. However it comes, you'll know it's from God. You'll feel the difference between something you forced and something He freely gave. And that difference will bring tears to your eyes, not because you're sad, but because you'll finally feel seen. What's arriving is not here to fix everything at once, but to remind you that you are not forgotten and never have been. It's a whisper of comfort in the middle of your confusion, a light in the hallway of waiting, a door you didn't know existed slowly opening. And it's just the beginning. God isn't done blessing you. He's just starting to reveal the goodness He's had waiting. There's more to come, and every piece will carry His fingerprint, His timing, and His love. Don't be surprised if joy returns in the smallest ways. A conversation that soothes your heart, a word that comes just when you need it, a feeling that maybe things are finally turning. These are not coincidences. These are gentle signs that God is leaning near, making sure you know He is still with you, still working, still loving you through it all. The big answers will come, yes, but don't miss the beauty in the quiet ones. They are just as powerful. You don't need to fear missing it. What's for you will find you, not because you chased it, but because God sent it. He knows where you are. He knows what you've been through. And He's not asking you to be stronger, more perfect, or more faithful. He's only asking you to stay open, open to His way, open to His pace, open to the idea that He is still writing your story, and He is not in a hurry because He knows exactly how it ends. There will be a moment, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, where something inside you will shift. The weight will lift, the questions will quiet, and you will feel peace, not because everything is fixed, but because you know you're held. That is the real blessing, not just getting what you want, but feeling the presence of God so near, so real, that you can finally breathe without fear. The struggles you've faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. So take this as your reminder. Your faith has not been wasted. Your prayers have not disappeared. Your quiet hope has been growing roots. And tonight, the first fruit of that hope is beginning to show. It may start small, but it will grow. It will multiply. It will reach into places in your life that you didn't even realize were waiting to be healed. You are stepping into a season that is not defined by struggle but by grace. A season where you don't have to strive or prove but simply receive. Where the doors that once stayed shut begin to open softly. Where clarity begins to replace confusion. And where love begins to pour into every space that once felt empty. God has not changed His mind about you. He has not removed His promise. And He is not done showing you that He is good, not just in theory, not just in scripture, but in your real, everyday life. So open your heart tonight. Let your hands stop clenching, let your mind stop racing, and let yourself believe again, even if it's scary, even if it's hard. Because what's coming will not disappoint you. He has watched you stay faithful when it would have been easier to walk away, and now He is rewarding that quiet obedience with something so tender, so personal, and so full of light that your heart will feel like it's breathing again. Not just relief, but renewal. Not just answers, but deep restoration. Type Amen if you believe. There is something about the way God moves that cannot be explained in words. It isn't loud or boastful. It isn't rushed or forced. It's like a soft rain falling on dry ground, gently reviving what looked lifeless. That's what He's doing for you now. You've been feeling like you were standing still, like time was passing you by while nothing changed. But while you were waiting, God was working. While you were praying, He was shaping something just right. And now, the moment has come when you no longer have to imagine it, it's here. Maybe the breakthrough doesn't look exactly how you pictured it. Maybe it doesn't come in the way you expected. But it comes with peace, and that peace will be your confirmation. That gentle stillness that suddenly covers your heart is not by accident. It is God saying, "I've heard you, I've seen you, and now I'm answering in a way only I can." There is something sacred in this moment, something that was meant to meet you here, at this point in your journey, not before, not later, but now. All those nights you cried quietly, not because you lacked faith, but because hope was beginning to wear thin. God remembers them. The days where you smiled in public but crumbled inside, He held those pieces in His hands. You thought nothing was happening, but something powerful was growing under the surface. It wasn't time yet. The soil of your life was still being prepared. But now, the roots have taken hold, and the first signs of your blessing are breaking through. You are not the same person you were when you first asked for it, and that is the miracle too. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Sometimes we think blessings only come in the form of big changes or sudden miracles. But often God begins with something simple, something small that builds from the inside out. A heart that no longer feels afraid. A mind that finally knows rest. A body that feels lighter, not because the load disappeared, but because He is now carrying it with you. This is the kind of blessing that changes you long before it changes your circumstances. Tonight may look quiet. The room around you might be still. But heaven is not. The angels rejoice when God touches a life with favor, and right now, they are rejoicing over you. You have walked through enough. You've held on long enough. Now is the time for you to begin receiving, not because you demanded it, but because you trusted when it was hardest. That's the faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of trust God never overlooks. There's a door in front of you, and you don't have to break it down. It's opening because the time is right. It's opening because you're ready, not perfect, not without fear, but willing. Willing to believe again, willing to heal, willing to walk forward even though the past tried to hold you back. What's on the other side of this door is not just the thing you've prayed for, but the version of yourself you've grown into while waiting. You're stronger now, kinder, wiser, more rooted in love than ever before. And God is going to use every bit of your journey not just to bless you, but to be a light for others. This gift coming into your life tonight isn't just about comfort, it's about calling. It's about awakening something in you that was always meant to be alive. Your purpose, your voice, your joy, your freedom. There will be moments ahead where everything starts to fall into place, not all at once, but piece by piece. The things that confused you will make sense. The losses that broke you will no longer sting the same way. The things you thought were detours will be revealed as directions. You'll begin to understand that God was never punishing you. He was protecting what He was building in you. Even now, there's a warmth rising in your soul. It's not just emotion. It's a spiritual knowing. A holy reminder that something has shifted. You'll sleep differently tonight, not because everything is fixed, but because something has finally been released. The pressure to figure it all out. The fear that nothing would change. The ache of wondering when your turn would come. All of it, falling off your shoulders, making room for grace to rise. What if you could unlock a secret brainwave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. Let yourself believe this is real. Let your heart be open to the idea that God has been orchestrating beauty out of the brokenness all along. You don't have to go back and make sense of it all. You only have to go forward with peace, knowing that what's ahead is no longer uncertain, It's already been written, and it's filled with goodness. Not because life is perfect, but because God is present. God has seen your journey, the moments where you smiled to hide the ache, where you kept giving when no one noticed, and where you stayed faithful even with unanswered questions in your heart. Now His response is coming not through a thunderous event, but through a quiet, undeniable breakthrough that touches you where you need it most. Type 222 if you're ready for it. Sometimes blessings come when you least expect them, wrapped not in grandeur but in stillness. That's what this moment is about. This is the kind of night where your soul exhales. Not because everything suddenly becomes perfect, but because something sacred starts to settle, a knowing. A whisper from God that says, I am here, I've never left, and now, I'm giving you more than just what you've asked for, I'm giving you what you need. You've endured a season of quiet battles. You've woken up some mornings wondering if the waiting would ever end. You've carried your questions with grace and handled disappointments with strength that not many people saw, but God saw. He was watching when you chose kindness over resentment. He was near when you cried yourself to sleep but still whispered, I trust you, God, into the dark. And for all of that, for your endurance, your faith, your love, He is answering you. This isn't a reward for perfection. It's the love of a Father who blesses because He is good, not because we've earned it. His blessings are not wages, they are gifts, freely given. And tonight, He is giving you something that will feel like the weight you've been carrying has finally been lifted. It's not imaginary. It's not wishful thinking. It's real, and it's from Him. The shift will be quiet, but you'll feel it deep inside, and it will bring you to tears not of sadness, but of release. Type 555 if you believe God is working for you. God has a way of arriving just in time, not by our clock, but by His wisdom. There were moments you thought He was silent when really, He was building something behind the scenes. He was clearing the path. He was holding things back until your heart was ready to receive. That's why it felt slow, because He wasn't just preparing the blessing, He was preparing you. And now that you've grown stronger in your faith, softer in your love, and more anchored in His truth, He's opening the door. That door doesn't just lead to what you asked for, it leads to things you didn't know you needed. It leads to relationships that bring peace, opportunities that restore purpose, and moments that heal what the world tried to break. You don't have to run through that door, just walk. Step by step with quiet confidence, knowing that you're not walking into the unknown. You're walking into what God already planned with care and love for your good. There is beauty waiting on the other side of your yes. Not a yes to pressure, but a yes to peace, a yes to trust, a yes to surrendering the need to understand everything, and simply choosing to rest in what God is doing. He's not asking you to carry it all. He's asking you to believe that He already is. Let go of the fear that something might go wrong. Let go of the old stories that told you you'd be forgotten. You are seen. You are loved. And you are about to be blessed in a way that feels like sunlight after a long winter. You've learned how to keep going. You've learned how to hold on to faith, even when your hands felt empty. And now, God is placing something in your hands that will feel like a holy reminder. He never left. He never forgot. He never gave up on the promise. What's coming into your life won't require you to chase it or prove yourself worthy of it. It will come to you, because God said it's time. So breathe, slowly and deeply. Let your heart settle. Let your mind stop running in circles. You don't need to figure everything out tonight. You only need to receive. Receive the peace of knowing you're not alone. Receive the comfort of God's presence gently holding you. Receive the quiet joy that comes when you realize that after all the struggle, after all the heartbreak, you are finally standing in a new beginning. This isn't just a night, it's a turning point. You may not even notice it right away. It might feel like an ordinary moment, but in the spiritual realm, something has shifted. The air around you feels lighter, the path ahead looks clearer, and your soul feels calmer. That's not by accident. That's what it feels like when God steps in and starts putting things in order. Let tonight be the start of your freedom from fear. Let it be the beginning of a chapter marked not by striving but by grace. Let it be the night where you no longer measure your life by how fast things happen, but by how fully God is in them. Trust that what He's doing now is better than what you prayed for then. Trust that the timing you questioned was actually perfect, and trust that the peace you feel isn't random, it's the first sign of a miracle unfolding. You may have been walking through a season that felt like silence, where prayers seemed to disappear into the air and your hope was hanging by a thread, but tonight marks a new beginning. Something unseen is shifting in your favor, something holy is unfolding, and though you can't fully explain it yet, you can feel it deep in your spirit. Something is coming. Type yes to affirm. A mysterious 9-word prayer once sealed inside a private government vault is now resurfacing, and people everywhere are seeing financial breakthroughs overnight. Experts say it triggers a long silent part of the human brain responsible for abundance and wealth attraction. It takes less than 30 seconds to repeat, yet it's turning struggle into prosperity. Thousands are reporting cleared loans, sudden cash inflows, and unexpected blessings. Click the link in the description and comments before this secret disappears again. The waiting hasn't been easy. There were days you wanted to give up, nights you couldn't sleep, and moments where you wondered if you had misunderstood what God had promised. But even in those times, your heart stayed open. Your soul stayed surrendered, and that was never unnoticed. You may have felt invisible to people, but you were never invisible to God. He saw the way you kept going. He heard the quiet, "Help me" prayers. He noticed every act of love, every tear, and every step forward you took, even when your strength was running low. Now He is bringing a gift into your life that speaks directly to all of that, the struggle, the faith, the hope, the pain. It won't just bless your circumstances. It will reach into your emotions, your memories, your deepest places, and begin to restore what has been missing. Not only will you see changes outside of you, but you'll begin to feel something inside you come back to life. That spark, that peace, that steady knowing that everything is going to be all right, that is what God is giving you tonight. This is the part of your journey where things start to make sense, where the confusion begins to lift, and you realize that every closed door had a purpose. Every delay was protecting something precious. Every time something didn't work out, it was actually a step toward what was better. It wasn't wasted, it wasn't random, and it wasn't punishment. It was preparation for this moment, the one you are stepping into now. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. God is not late. He's intentional. He knows the moments your heart needs healing more than it needs answers. He knows when you're ready to receive what you prayed for, and when your soul needs a little more time to grow. But He never forgets, and He never lets go. And tonight, He's releasing something into your life that has been held back, not because you weren't worthy, but because He was waiting for the perfect moment to show you just how much He cares. This blessing won't be loud. It may not come with signs and wonders, but it will come with peace, with relief, with the unmistakable sense that God is near and something good is finally beginning to grow. You'll notice your heart feels lighter, your thoughts feel calmer. The pressure that's been building begins to fall away. That is what it feels like when God places His hand on your life and says, "It's time." And what's coming won't slip through your fingers. It won't vanish the way temporary things do. Because this is not temporary. This is lasting. This is sacred. This is God giving you something that fits your life with such grace that you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. It could be peace in your mind, love in your relationships, a breakthrough in your path, or healing in your soul, but whatever it is, it's made just for you. There's a beauty in divine timing that no human effort can replicate. You couldn't have rushed this moment even if you tried. You couldn't have made it happen through strength or strategy. It had to be God. And because it's from Him, it carries no burden, no pressure, no fear. Just rest, just grace, just fullness. So take this as your sign to let go of the worry. You don't have to overthink, overwork, or overplan. Just open your hands, open your heart, and let God do what He's been waiting to do. Let Him surprise you. Let Him comfort you. Let Him pour into you the joy and peace that life has tried to drain out of you. You don't need to earn this blessing. You only need to receive it. You've come through so much. You've walked roads others don't even know you've traveled. You've carried burdens in silence. But the same God who saw your journey is now leading you into a place of rest. He's not finished with you. In fact, He's just beginning something better than what you've lost, better than what you imagined, and far better than what you thought was possible. You're not walking into this next season alone. God is with you, in front of you, behind you, and within you. He's guiding the way, clearing the path, and speaking softly into your soul. You're going to be okay now. Watch what I do next. And you don't have to do anything but trust. Not in the outcome, not in your plans, but in Him, in His love, in His character, in His ability to turn everything around. What's coming will not only bring happiness, it will bring wholeness. It will heal the parts of you that never had the chance to speak. It will restore the dreams you laid down out of fear. It will revive the hope that has quietly been waiting to bloom. Because when God says it's your time, nothing can stop what's meant for you. This is not just a moment you will remember. It's a moment that will change the way you carry tomorrow. What God is releasing into your life tonight is full of His love, His timing, and His presence, and you don't need to question it or try to understand how it will all come together. You just need to receive it with the same quiet faith that brought you this far. Type 1919 to receive miracles. You've walked through valleys where joy felt distant and peace felt out of reach. You've looked around at others and wondered why their stories seemed easier, why their answers seemed faster, and why your journey felt so long. But what you couldn't see was the way God was carefully protecting the beauty of your story. He wasn't denying you, He was deepening you. He was planting roots in your soul that could not be shaken, even when everything else felt uncertain. Buried deep in forgotten archives, a 9-word phrase once hidden from the public is now transforming ordinary lives. Neuroscientists call it a wealth frequency activator because it awakens a part of the brain that naturally draws prosperity. It takes just seconds to speak, but the change can last a lifetime. People are waking up debt-free and financially secure. The page could vanish at any moment. Click the link before it's gone for good. And now He's saying, enough waiting, enough weeping, enough wondering. This is the hour where grace flows freely into the spaces that felt forgotten. It's the moment where light begins to rise slowly, softly, and surely into the shadows you thought might stay forever. The blessing may not be what you expected. It may not arrive in the shape you imagined, but it will carry something deeper than all of that. It will carry healing. Not just healing from one situation, but from many. Healing from years of silent battles. Healing from the quiet ache of unanswered prayers. Healing from the feeling that maybe, just maybe, you were always going to be the one who had to wait the longest. But you are not forgotten. You are not behind. And you are not alone. You are standing in the light of a God who has seen every detail and chosen this exact moment to whisper, now. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. There is a softness in this moment that can only be explained by the presence of God. It's not loud, but it's powerful. It doesn't demand attention, but it changes everything. That's how God moves quietly, but completely. When He steps in, things don't always look different on the outside right away, but inside, something begins to feel safe again. You'll notice it in the way your shoulders finally relax, or the way you take a deep breath and it doesn't feel heavy anymore. That is what happens when heaven touches earth, when God touches you. And the joy that's coming tonight is not a fleeting emotion. It's not temporary. It's not the kind of happiness that fades once the day ends. It's deeper. It's quieter. It lives in the way you wake up tomorrow knowing something has changed, even if you can't explain it. It's in the way your heart starts to believe again, not because everything is perfect, but because you can feel God again. You've held on to hope even when you didn't know how. You've been brave in ways others will never understand. And now, God is placing something in your hands not to repay you, but to remind you that He never left, and He never will. What you're receiving now is a reflection of His faithfulness. It's a reflection of the love that carried you through seasons when you didn't even know how you were making it. Let that sink in tonight. You made it. You didn't break. You didn't lose your light. You kept going. And for that, something beautiful is unfolding. Not because you earned it, but because God delights in you. You are His child. And just as a good father watches over his children, making sure they are cared for, comforted, and protected, your Heavenly Father has done the same for you, only with more patience, more wisdom, and more love than you could ever comprehend. You don't need to strive anymore. You don't need to keep wondering if you're doing enough, being enough, praying enough. You are already enough, just as you are. And that truth, that divine, peaceful truth, is what will begin to fill your heart as God's presence wraps around you tonight like a warm blanket after a cold storm. You'll start to notice little signs, maybe a word someone says that hits your heart in just the right way, maybe a moment of stillness that feels sacred, maybe a wave of peace when nothing around you has changed. These aren't coincidences, they are confirmations. They are heaven's way of saying, you didn't miss it, it's here, and it's for you. And from this moment forward, things will start to align not by your force, but by God's favor. Opportunities will come not because you chased them, but because they were prepared for you. Healing will happen not because you earned it, but because God decided it was time. The things that used to weigh you down will begin to lose their power, and the dreams you once buried will slowly start to rise again. Let yourself rest in this. Don't rush ahead. Don't overthink it. Just be still and know that something has been released in the spiritual realm that is now making its way into your reality. It will not delay. It will not disappear. It will not disappoint. Because what God gives is complete. It lacks nothing. And what He's giving you now has been designed to fit your life, your heart, and your future with perfection. You may have walked through fire to get here, but you are walking out with gold in your hands, wisdom, faith, strength, and a new joy that cannot be shaken. What's ahead of you is filled with so much more than what's behind you. And it all begins now, right here, in the stillness where God is speaking to your heart and telling you that it's your time. He hears the words, yes, but He also hears the silence between them. He understands the weight behind the quiet moments, the tired sighs, and the days you carried on even when you didn't feel like it. And now His response is arriving not just to lift your burdens, but to awaken something new inside you. Type 2323 if you agree. There have been seasons where it felt like your life was in a long pause, like nothing was moving forward, and your heart began to wonder if it would always feel this stuck. You smiled for others, you kept showing up, but deep down you were growing weary. You questioned not just the timing, but yourself. Did you ask too much? Did you miss something? Did you fall behind? The answer is no. You didn't fall behind. You weren't forgotten. You were being kept safe and ready for a moment that is unfolding now. God doesn't rush what He cares about deeply, and He cares about you more than words could ever explain. You are not just one of many. You are seen, known, and cherished. And what He's bringing into your life tonight is proof of that. You don't need to understand how. You don't need to figure out when. You just need to let go of the fear that has been whispering lies and lean into the truth of what's being made new. This blessing is more than something you receive. It's something that changes you. It will stretch across every part of your life. It will heal what's been sore for too long. It will bring softness to the hardened places in your heart. It will be a balm to the parts of you that learned to protect yourself after too many disappointments. You won't have to guard yourself from this. You won't have to wonder if it's too good to be true, because this time, it's God. And when He gives, it's real, lasting, and full of peace. Type 555 if you believe God is with you. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. He's not just giving you what you asked for, He's giving you what you didn't know how to ask for. The kind of comfort you need after the storm, the kind of connection that feels like home, the kind of peace that settles in your chest and stays. You're not being given leftovers or second chances. You're being given a fresh start, crafted by the hands of a Father who never stops creating beauty from ashes. You'll start to notice the shift soon, not just in what's around you, but in how you feel when you wake up, in the stillness of the night, in the clarity of a new idea, in the feeling of release you get when something heavy inside you finally lets go. These are the first signs of what God is doing. And you'll realize it's not just that your situation is changing, it's that your spirit is being restored. God hasn't just been preparing something for you, He's also been preparing you for it. That's why the journey felt heavy at times. That's why you had to walk through seasons of stretching, letting go, and learning to wait. Because what's coming requires a heart that knows how to stay soft, and a spirit that knows how to trust even when it doesn't all make sense. And you've done that. You've kept the door open. You've chosen to keep loving. You've chosen to keep praying. You've chosen to keep trusting. Even when nothing changed. Even when it felt like you were speaking into silence. But God was always listening. And He's moving now not because you begged, but because you believed. Even a small mustard seed of faith is enough for Him to work with. Let tonight be a line in the sand. A moment where you say, I don't have to carry it anymore. Let it be the night where the weight starts to lift and you begin to feel joy again. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because you know who is with you. God isn't watching from a distance, He's walking with you, whispering to your heart, holding your hand and making a way. This joy that's coming, it's gentle. It doesn't shout. It feels like rest. It feels like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. It feels like knowing that you are exactly where you need to be and that you haven't missed anything. The blessing meant for you will find you, not because you chased it down, but because God brings what is yours directly to your heart, and when it comes, you won't have to question it. You'll feel the peace. You'll see the difference. And you'll know this wasn't luck, this wasn't coincidence, this was the hand of God. He remembered, He heard, and He chose tonight to begin something beautiful, something new, something healing, something that will make every painful step worth it. You may not have all the answers yet, and your path may not look like what you hoped it would, but God has been preparing something greater, something lasting, deep, and full of light that will settle into your life exactly where you need it most. He knows the weight you've been carrying, and tonight, He's gently lifting it off your shoulders. Type Amen if you believe. You've walked through long seasons of quiet sacrifice. You've kept moving forward when everything inside you said to stop. You've chosen love over bitterness, faith over fear, and peace over panic more times than anyone realizes. That kind of strength doesn't go unnoticed by heaven. Every act of faith, every moment you chose grace instead of anger, every time you whispered, God, I trust you, even while your heart was breaking, God saw it. He honored it. And now, He is responding not only with favor, but with a kind of joy that goes beyond circumstances. This joy isn't loud or temporary. It's not based on what changes around you. but on what God is healing inside you. It's the kind of joy that returns quietly at first, a small warmth in the heart, a gentle breath of peace, a tear you didn't expect but somehow needed. And slowly, you begin to notice. The ache is easing, the fear is loosening, and the pressure you've carried for so long is softening under the presence of God's love. This isn't just another day. This is a holy moment, designed in advance. While you've been focused on surviving, God has been focused on restoring, and He's not finished. In fact, He's just beginning a new season in your life that will feel lighter, more free, and more full of purpose than anything you've experienced before. This isn't because you earned it, but because you belong to Him. And His goodness has never been based on your performance, it's always been rooted in His heart. Type 1111 if you trust in God. You'll notice a shift happening in subtle ways. The things that used to drain you will begin to lose their grip. The thoughts that kept you up at night will slowly be replaced by quiet confidence. You'll stop rehearsing the past and start leaning into the hope that something better is truly ahead. And it is. What God is preparing isn't just an event or a moment, it's a movement in your life, a new rhythm, a new grace, a new way of walking forward without the old chains. You've already done more healing than you give yourself credit for. You've already grown in ways that others don't see, but God sees it. He's proud of how you've kept walking, proud of how you've learned to wait, and tonight, He's honoring that with a gift that speaks directly to your spirit. A blessing that feels like home, like peace, like rest. It may not look like what you once prayed for, but it will feel like everything you need. Sometimes the miracle isn't in getting everything you asked for, but in receiving what you didn't even know you needed. That's what God is doing now. He's placing something in your life that fits your soul. Something that makes you feel safe again, whole again, seen again. It won't ask you to change who you are. It won't demand that you prove your worth. It will simply come and settle into your life like it was always meant to be there. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brainwave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. And that's how you'll know it's from God. It will carry peace, not pressure. It will bring clarity, not confusion. It will help you rise, not weigh you down. And it will last not for a moment, not for a season, but for the journey ahead. Because God doesn't give what fades, He gives what fills, what heals, what strengthens, and what stays. Let your heart be still tonight. Let it open slowly to what's unfolding. You don't need to rush. You don't need to panic. The blessing isn't going to pass you by.